Hi everyone. So let's take these notes on finding the equation of a secant line. So the question says, suppose that g of x is equal to 3x squared minus 2x plus 3. And I want us to find an equation of the secant line from -2 to 1. All right, so your first step to finding the equation of that secant line is to find the slope of the line, which is using that average rate of change formula. So we can go ahead and say the slope of the secant line is going to be equal to f. Well, in this case, we're not working with the function f, we're working with g, but that's interchangeable. G of b minus g of a, all divided by b minus a. And then in this case, using the values from our interval, this would be g of 1 minus g of -2, all divided by 1 minus -2. All right, so to figure out what g of 1 is, we are going to go ahead and use our function g, and wherever we see an x, we're going to go ahead and input our value of 1 instead. So this would be 1 squared minus 2 times 1 plus 3. You can go ahead and use your order of operations to evaluate that, or you can use your handy dandy friend Desmos. I already have the function here graphed. I've defined it for the calculator, so then you can just ask it to find g of 1 for you, and it'll give you that g of 1 is equal to 4. So this all simplifies down to 4. So in our equation, we can go ahead and substitute a 4, a minus. Let's figure out what g of -2 is. So we can just input -2, and we see that it's 19. All divided by 1 plus 2. Do a little bit of simplifying here. This gives you -15 divided by 3, which simplifies down to -5. So our slope of this secant line is -5. Now, that is not new to us. We have already identified those average rate of changes. So now what we're going to go ahead and do today is we're going to now find the equation. So all we have right now is the slope. We need to now find the equation. So to find the equation, we're going to use something called point slope form. You may or may not have learned this in Algebra 1. However, point slope form is this. Y minus y1 is equal to the slope of the secant line times the quantity of x minus x1. Okay, so this is the point slope formula, and we'll be using it to determine the equation of the secant line. So we obviously already know our slope, right? This is -5, so we can substitute a -5 there. And then now when it comes to x1 and y1, this and this, these are just a coordinate. And you know two coordinates here. You know that when your input is -2, your output is 19, right? And you know that when your input is 1, your output is 4. So you can choose one of those coordinates as your x and your y. And it doesn't matter which one you choose, you will get the same answer at the end. So we'll say that the slope of the secant line we know is -5. For today's example, I will go ahead and use the point 1, 4, right? So in this case, this would be my x1 and this would be my y1. Again, you could have used the -2, 19 as well, right? It doesn't matter. And then you just substitute your values in and you simplify. So this would be y minus y1, which is 4, is equal to the slope of the secant line, which is -5, parentheses x minus your x1, which is 1. And then now to go ahead and really just get this in y equals mx plus b form, you distribute out that -5. So this would be y minus 4 is equal to -5x plus 5. And then to get y by itself, you just add 4 to both sides. This simplifies out and you get y is equal to -5x plus 9. So this right here is your equation of the secant line from -2 to 1. And you can verify that through a graph, right? Obviously, we know that the slope is right because it has that slope as we solved for earlier. Remember, this is the form right here, mx plus b, where m is your slope and b is this is your slope, and this is your y-intercept. Okay, so if I were to go into the graph, obviously we see that it's already graphed there for us. We can now go ahead and graph our secant line. So y equals -5x plus 9. And we see that it goes through the point -2 to 1. So there is our equation of our secant line that has a y-intercept of 9. All right, so that's what you guys will be doing today. I will be giving you all equations, and then you will be finding I'll give you guys a function, and then you guys will be finding the equation of the secant line. All right, let me know if you have any questions.